Hello friends, my name is Vishal Mehta and I am Chartered Market Technician. This video is presented by Espresso, a Sher Khan company. Today's topic is one of the most important topic that I can teach you in my entire trading career. Now let's drill down. What are the types of money management that are available to us? So if we can see over here, the first method is called as Martingale method. And what is the other side? Is nothing but anti-martingale method. Now these words are very fancy and you will think that this is something a rocket science that I may not be understanding it. The answer is it's actually very simple. Martingale method, and most of the time a layman is using this method, which is nothing. In our crude term we call them as averaging down. So Martingale method is nothing but the increase of the position size with losses. As and when you start losing more, you start increasing your bet sizes, thinking that this streak of losses would actually reverse and you will get a profitable trader. So as and when you are losing more, you keep on increasing your exposure. And once you are right, you make right on the big exposure. And that is the most important thing, that you are increasing your exposure when you are in a drawdown. That's martingale for you. Then what is anti-martingale for you? Anti-martingale is nothing but exact opposite of martingale. It increases the position size with every win. That's that's very counterintuitive to us, because we are going to increase our exposure as and when we are winning, and we increase our exposure as the profit started showing in our portfolio. Let's take an example of martingale and anti-martingale in the real world. Let's understand, a gambler goes to a casino and he wants to play on a roulette table, and he sees red and black. He puts his money on red. Unfortunately, a black comes. So what does he do? He's playing a martingale strategy. He's going to bet double of what he had put it out in the first bet. So assuming he betted 100 rupees, now he's going to bet 200 rupees. Unfortunately, again black comes and he loses a certain amount. He's going to double it up by betting 400 again on red. Again, the luck was not in his favor and it came as black. He lost 400 as well. And now he betted 800 rupees. And he keeps on increasing his exposure with every loss. Say, assuming he went to 1600 and he finally won, the red finally came. He's going to make that 1600 that he has betted on, that he's going to come back. But does he really make that money? The answer is no. He is going to recover his original amount that he has put it in the first bet. That's martingale strategy. And casino loves people who are betting on martingale strategies, because casino has housing bets and they make sure that you as a gambler do not make money. So then if you are going to lose money using martingale money management system, then who is going to make money? The guys who are doing anti-martingale money management system. So there are three different ways of using anti-martingale money management system. One is the 2% rule method. I'm going to go into detail of how we are going to use this 2% rule method. Then we are going to talk about fixed fractional method. And lastly, we are going to talk about a very unique concept called as a fixed fractional method. So let's understand these three anti-martingale money management system in detail. Now let's dig into the first important anti-martingale money management system, which we talked about, is 2% rule method. And this is one of the most popular beside fixed fractional in the trading fraternity. Every time when you go and ask someone, how much should I risk? For some strange reason, you will hear this 2% rule method. Neither 1% nor 3%. It's mostly 2%. I think so it's due to it's not very conservative and it's not very aggressive. So let's understand What is this 2% rule method? 2% rule method is nothing but an anti-martingale money management system. As it says anti-martingale, you're going to increase your allocation as you start making money, and you decrease your allocation when you start losing money. So the formula is pretty simple. It actually accounts for the risk that you should take. So what it is, risk per trade equal to account balance that is left with you and multiplied by 2%. And I'm sure I hated maths when I was in school days, and some of you would have hated too. Let's put it into a proper table and understand of how my risk per trade and how I'm going to increase my exposure and decrease my exposure. Now, as you can see, assuming you had 2 lakh rupees in your account and you can risk 2%, that's the 2% rule method, you're going to lose about 4,000 rupees if the trade goes south. But what if the trade comes into your favor and you are on a winning streak? You start betting more and more and more. So, assuming you started with 2 lakh and once the risk became 2%, risk per trade was 4,000. And assuming you won or your trade turned into a profitable with one risk to reward ratio, that means that 4,000 that you put it out as risk is also your profit. So now your capital is actually 2 lakh 4,000. And now you're going to use 2% of the newly found capital of 2 lakh 4,000. And now your risk per trade has increased from 4,000 rupees to 4,080 rupees. Assuming you are on a winning streak, that at 4,080 rupees, you're going to book out your profit. And that's 1:1 risk to reward ratio. Now your new capital is nothing but 2,08,080 bucks. And now you're going to put a 2% of that as well. That's 4,161 rupees. As you can see, as you are winning money, you are actually putting the market's money, not your own money. And and we have seen that when we are losing, we are not in sync with the market, and there is a possibility that we will continue to have losses. And what if the market goes against us? Say, assuming you started with 2 lakh rupees, you invested or risk per trade was 2%, that's 4,000, and you actually make a loss. Now your newly found capital is 1 lakh 96,000. Are you going to increase the capital? No, I'm going to risk 2% of that. That's 3,920. Assuming that was also in a loss, your new capital is 1,92,080 and you're going to risk 2%. Invariably, there is a science that is happening behind this math. That is, when you are losing less and less and less. And when you're bleeding, it is actually bleeding less. But when you're on a winning streak, it actually puts you into a winning position and it tells you to increase your position because you're winning. Your strategy is working with the market condition, and that's how you're going to make more money. And that's why this 2% rule method is a very powerful anti-martingale money management system. We just talked about a very popular method, which is 2% rule method. Now let's talk about another very popular and easy to understand anti-martingale money management system. That's fixed fractional method. Fixed fractional method is a very popular method, and most of the traders who start their trading journey uses this method knowingly or unknowingly. It's nothing but commonly used to trade one contract for X amount in the account. And we're going to take some example out of it. And it limit each trade to a set position of a total account. I know it can get bit tricky. Let's understand in a very layman term. It's nothing but if I'm going to buy a bank nifty future, currently cost me about 1.5 lakh worth of margin. Assuming I'm going to trade that I'm not going to have a loss, I can put up one bank nifty future with 1.5 lakh of a margin. Now what if it turns out to be a profitable trader? I'm going to make certain amount of money, but I will not increase my lot sizes because to increase my lot size to the two lots, I need at least 3 lakh rupees. That's 1.5 into 2 times, because one lot costs me about 1.5 lakh, whereas for two bank nifty future to trade, I will need around 3 lakh. And if I wanted to jump into the third lot, I need to have 4.5 lakhs. So that what is flex, and that what fixed fractional is all about: increasing your capital when you're winning, but there are certain threshold. There's the minimum amount that you should reach to increase your position size to the next lot size. And this method is very popular with the future traders. Now let's talk about the third and a very unconventional money management in anti-martingale space. That's fixed ratio method. Now, this method was actually founded by a guy called Ryan Jones, and he introduced this concept in the book called as The Trading Game. It's very unique. I'll tell you why it is very unique. Because fixed ratio focuses on profits made rather than the account size. Up till now, when we were looking at the martingale money management system or anti-martingale money management system, we always fixated ourselves on the account or the value of the account. But this is the method which is focuses on the amount of profit that you have generated to increase your position size. And there is just one variable to take care of is, which is delta. And greater, it is very good for a small account for a scaling up, because I always get this question that we have small account, which position size should I be using? And invariably my answer is, go and read a book called as The Trading Game by Ryan Jones, and there where it introduces this concept of a fixed ratio to scale up your small account much faster, and it provides a geometric growth without a catastrophic risk. Now, a question would come to your mind, Vishal, what is this delta? Is it like an option delta? The answer is no. Delta is nothing but a variable that you need to increase your capital, the way we did it in the fixed fractional, where we took 1.5 as one of the delta variables. Now, how do I decide this delta? Ideally, you can take the historical max drawdown of your trading system and use that as a delta. So let's understand this with an example. If I'm starting my trading journey with one lot, I'm going to put a delta of 5,000, which is my historical max drawdown. And my previous equity, or you can say for this example, beginning of my equity is 20,000 rupees. Then a question would come, when should I change the lot size from 1 to 2? You fit in all the formulas because you have initial contract of 1, you kept your delta as 5,000 plus your 20,000. That means once you reach 25,000, then only you're going to increase your lot sizes from 1 to 2. Now, once you go to the 2, you can see over here that if you're going to plug it into the formula, you're going to increase your lot sizes once you reach 35,000. And then if once you reach 35,000, you're going to plug in into your third lot. And this tells you that once that 50,000 is reached, then only you move to your fourth lot. A question would come to your mind, that what is this difference between a fixed fractional and a fixed ratio? Now, let me just take few slides and compare it with you. Here you can see, as your account sizes is growing, it has to take more and more effort to go to the next lot size. That means as the market, that means as your profit grows, you become more conservative. And as your profit was less, you become more aggressive. That's the beauty about fixed ratio. That when you started out, you start small, but as the capital grows, for every increment of one lot, the amount needed also increases. But if I go back on the fixed fractional example, okay, let me just take the fixed fractional example here. As you can see, the amount needed to go to the next lot is still constant. Now, what is the difference here? Assuming you are on a 5 lot, and if you make a profit, you may not jump onto the 6 lot because you are making money on 5 lot, which is quite substantial. And you may directly jump from 5 lot to 8 lots, which is very risky. And that's why it is said that when you start out your trading journey, you start out with fixed ratio, and as your account grows, then only you move to the fixed fractional. So let's understand now all the differences of the strategies, their growth profile, and their risk profile. As we can see, the 2% rule method is slow when it comes to the growth part, or taking a small account to a large account. So is your risk. So risk and your growth is very slow in the 2% account. Then when you jump to the fixed fractional, it is nothing. But for the large account, it is going to be a slow growth. But for a smaller account, it will be a geometric growth. Depending on which one is your account size, your risk profile gets determined. Whereas fixed ratio, geometric growth is very fast and the risk is pretty less. So this is the three different anti-martingale money management system that we discussed. A question should pop up in your mind. Vishal, which strategy should I be using? There is no one right answer, but it depends on your own trading profile. Are you conservative or are you an aggressive trader? Depending on which, you may either narrow down on a fixed fraction or a fixed ratio or a 2% method. And we have studied about what is money management, what money management is not, what are the different types of money management, which is anti-martingale and martingale. And we talked about even in anti-martingale, there are three methods in which we can increase our exposure when we are winning and decrease our exposure when we are losing. So we come to the last and important point. What is the importance of money management? It is a strict path to follow in order to reach your goals as a trader. Most of us want to be a crorepati trader with some few thousand rupees in our account. It's not going to be easy, but at least money management gives you a path to decide on which you have to follow and can be successful trader. It's maximizing the relative growth of the investor's capital, and it avoid heavy losses when you are in a drawdown. So this is the most important aspect that we discussed about money management. I'm sure you would have a lot of good questions. We would encourage you to put them into the comment section and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.